Hey Collective and Soul Tribe, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are doing well so far today. Now, I just put two and two together that I haven't really done affirmations in quite some time, okay? Usually I have those other decks that I use, but something just told me not to go ahead and use those and just to use this deck alone. So obviously take what resonates with, whatever you get in this message for today. Even if it doesn't resonate and you just like the affirmations that you guys are seeing, usually I try to hold up the card really close to the screen so that you guys can either take a screenshot of it or just write it down and use it for, manifestation purposes and things like that, okay? So let's see what you guys might need to know for today. Okay, let's dive right into it. Like I said, today is Wednesday. Okay, it is the 25th. All right, and right now the time is 11 a.m. All right, if you guys don't know this already, I live in Canada. All right, so it is Eastern time where I live, so even if the time is not the same for you guys, the messages can still resonate. I always say that messages are timeless, no matter where you are, right? You can watch the message like a week or two from today, and it can still resonate some way, somehow, right? Even if it didn't resonate today. So yeah, but yeah, take what resonates, guys. These are affirmations, okay? Some of them could be used as mantras, all right? But let's see. All right, so the first card is I am resilient, okay? It says, I can overcome any difficulties and become stronger, wiser, more loving, and more beautiful. Any obstacles that I encounter are mirrors of my inner conflict. They help me grow, okay? So it's the same thing with, whatever you put out is what you get kind of energy. So like I said, and when it comes to like people, places, and things, whether this is learning about your past and what you like and don't like and, things like that, there's something about you removing yourself from spaces that feel very triggering to you, because you may know that as much as you're trying to grow and change, other people around you may not be, right? Or maybe they're a little bit more behind in that sense, or they just don't care to because they're comfortable in the position that they're in right now, right? For some of you too, when it comes to growth and, you leaving things behind as well and learning from whatever obstacles that you encounter when it comes to whatever inner conflicts that you may have, this could be you, or you could trigger other people's, inner conflicts. That could also be significant because of your resilience. So because of your resilience, it's almost like it could go either or. Like you could be triggering other people, okay? Or there's something about other people, could be triggering you in a sense of, when it comes to your growth, right? Like if you don't like something, you're going to leave, and that's the growth. Like instead of fighting, instead of going back and forth, like a lot of people like to say, it's not good, it's not healthy to not talk about your problems. Duh, that is so true, but it's not healthy to also feel like you're in limbo and in a cycle of, repetitive cycles of having to repeat yourself, over and over about situations, right? So take what resonates with that. Maybe you guys are very resilient. You guys are strong. Okay, this card says, I am strong enough to protect my boundaries, okay, and face any challenges. I have what it takes to build the life of my dreams. I am dedicated to things that matter to me, right? So again, depending on your situation, things that matter to you may not be money. For some of you, it is. For some of you, it may be family. For some of you, it's not. For some of you, it's having a pet. For some of you, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has their own reasonings, right? All we're here to do is show grace and have respect and give ease to people, like I said, while we're already dealing with enough, right? So you could be dealing with a lot of challenges or boundaries right now, but you guys are still strong, right? You guys are still strong. You guys are still, building what it is that you want, right? Whatever those dreams or desires are, you guys are showing up as being dedicated. Okay, so yeah, some of you guys are kind, right? So it says, I treat myself and others with compassion and understanding. I look for the wisdom within my shadow. I think and speak of myself only with love. I accept myself fully, right? And that could be very difficult for some people around you, especially if you are resilient, okay, or you're working on that or building that, is that a lot of people could take your kindness for weakness, right? So you are kind, you are compassionate, you are understanding, but at the same time, you accept and love yourself fully enough that if something is not right for you, you know when to walk away. If something doesn't feel good to you, whether this is your gut, whatever this is, you're going to walk away, right? Because it's not meant for you. You're not going to, stay in places where you feel like you're not wanted or needed. And it's not to say that you guys are not enough. You are enough. But like I said, if people around you are not healed or they have traumas or certain things that they have, well, they haven't really dealt with and they're still dealing with it, or, they don't know that they need to deal with it. So they're very projectile, on towards you. That is also significant. Like you could trigger a lot of people because you're very confident and certain in your energy. Yeah. Look at this, guys. You're connected. It says, I'm connected. It says, I am part of the oneness of creation. My life is shaped by many people and forces seen and unseen. I am in tune with myself. I listen to my body. I honor my needs, okay? I am intelligent. I have a strong mind that helps me understand and analyze. I am in control of what I think and believe. I allow only positive and helpful thoughts to guide me. Okay, and that's why I'm saying you guys could be dealing with people around you, because if you are sensitive to energy, that could also be triggering as well, where you can sense when people are going through depression, anxiety, whether this is you or them, you know what I mean, guys? Or there's something about sadness and loneliness, like you can sense. It's like a hound, like a beagle, okay, like a dog smelling something. You know when you watch like Cops back in the day and they let the dog out, or the like German Shepherd loose, and the dog gets the person and he's just like just grabbing the heck out of that person. That is how I feel like you guys are with your intuition and how connected you are. It's like you don't even have to see something, you could just smell it. Right? You could just smell it. It's like in the air, okay? That song could be very significant. I Can Feel It in the Air, that type of song, okay? That's an old school song too, but your intelligence is very significant as well when it comes to the way that you analyze things, right? And you being able to be positive. That is the triggering thing about your resilience. It's like other people could be, sad and mad and miserable and, low vibrational all they want, but you're just like, yuck, keep that away from me, okay? It's like somebody with a tissue, like, don't touch me, almost. That's how your energy may show up as well to other people, where people may think that you think you're better than other people because you see a lot of things and you know a lot of things. And in all honesty, you don't think you're better than anybody. If anything, you think everybody is equal to you when it comes to energy, because like I said, it's not about feminine and masculine energy. It's about source. It's about, the energy, the frequency. That is what speaks for itself. Okay? Why do you think animals are very quick to pick up on energy? Okay? Especially babies. Okay, so you are learning, okay? You learn from each experience. It says, and as you evolve, it is okay for you to change your mind. It is normal and healthy for you to make mistakes. It means that you're living, right? So you making mistakes could be very significant. It's like maybe allowing certain actions or certain patterns, or allowing certain things to happen, or maybe you guys were angry at one point, or maybe you guys were very frustrated, and it's valid. Like, I don't like when people try to tell people how they should feel when they were the ones that were done wrong in a situation. Like, I feel like that's so wild. Okay, that's crazy to me, And then those are the same people that are outside of the situation, that don't know the real situation, that judge outside of it and the people that are in it, and saying that the person who is the victim is playing victim, but they are the victim and they're not playing victim. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this weird energy where you guys could be learning about certain people and, certain things. And, maybe understanding that you guys are a powerhouse. Like, you guys are resilient, you're strong, you're kind, you're connected, you're intelligent, you learn, okay, and you grow. And that is what triggers people, because they don't want to do that. You know, they don't want to move from where they are right now. And I'm not talking about a house and, you know, money. I'm talking about spiritually. You know, please keep in mind that we are going through spiritual warfare. There's a lot of things that are going on right now that we can see that it's not normal. Okay? Like there's things that are just not normal right now. Right? So you guys are learning from, you know, your situations. You guys are learning from your mistakes. You guys are learning from, you know, certain patterns. And it's okay for you to change your mind and not want to do certain things anymore or not be around certain people anymore. That is okay. You know, people change their mind all the time, right? You are loving. So yeah, while you guys are learning, you guys are loving, but it says, I spend time with people who are important to me and I give them my affection. It is safe for me to be loving and vulnerable. My love is needed. So that could be significant too. Like you guys may have a lot of love. You guys are kind, but that doesn't mean that you don't have discernment. Like you know who and when to give your love to. And that could be something that also bothers people too. It's because you guys know better. You know, like if someone does you wrong, it's like, why would I keep giving my love and my joy and my light to a negative Nancy, to somebody who's always being mean or negative to me or just being just low vibrational? Just, you know, like, where's the vibes? Okay, like, where's the vibes, dude? You know, like, what's going on? Like, why are we being like this? Why are we acting like this? You know, some of you guys could be very loving and you may look at people in situations like, why? Like, why did this happen? And why did you even do that to make this happen? This could have been different. This could have been a different situation. This could have played out differently. But like I said, no one is perfect. You're not trying to act like you're perfect, but you are always put in situations where people do you wrong. And then when you take your love away and, you know, pull your energy back and only give it to people that really love you and care about you, it's almost like, why is the collective not talking to me? Is the collective mad at me? Why is the collective this? And it's like, why don't people worry about what they're doing? Like, this could be how you guys feel in the collective. Like, you guys could be literally focusing on yourself and minding your business, and you're like, why don't people mind their business? Literally, like, you can ask somebody how they're doing, and they can say they're doing well, and you can leave it at that. Because if they don't want to share any more information with you, they don't want to share any more information with you. Okay? Like, some people really do feel like they're entitled to know every single thing that you do, and they're not. Okay? The only person that should know everything that you're doing is you. Okay? Or maybe your spouse, because, you know, you and your partner, you know, you guys make plans and you talk about certain things and you guys work together. That's different. That's understandable. Okay? Or maybe you live with your friends and you are on the same page. That's different. That's understandable. But when someone is not on the same page and they're showing up as a monitoring spirit or somebody who's low vibrational, then yeah, you're going to focus and spend your time on people, places, and things that matter because you guys are discerning. Okay, and that's the message that I was getting anyways before I even saw the card, right? You guys have discernment. That pisses people off. People hate negative people, misery who loves company. They hate a Chiquita and a masculine that know who they are and know what they're supposed to be doing and where they're supposed to be going in life. They hate that. And I'm not talking about people who, you know, people who know, like, say you eat healthy and you go to the gym and things like that, right? You know, those people who still make fun of people that are bigger than them, or they judge people that are bigger than them, but they were big once in their life as well. It's almost like, how does that work? It's almost like the person that was being bullied turns into the bully. How does that work? You know, like, it's almost like people go through a lot of things, but that does not make them who they were supposed to be turned out to be. Like, if you were bullied, you didn't turn out to be the bully. Instead, you turned out to be love and light instead. That's what I'm talking about, discernment. It's like you can accurately assess every situation and correctly judge what to follow, okay? There's something about you also being able to reject what's not for you and trusting yourself to be realistic and fair and respecting yourself and protecting your boundaries, okay, guys? People hate, okay, a mother sucker who protects their boundaries, okay? Like, I laugh because I find it so interesting and I find that energy so weird when people get mad at you because they did something to you, whether this was like purposely or not, and you're saying, you know what? You got this, boo. I'm gonna leave you to it. I'm gonna leave you to it. You can have this. I'm just gonna yoink. Whether this is you or the universe, because you know I always talk about this, the universe will find a way to pluck you out like an ingrown hair that's not needed on your face or your body, okay? So take what resonates with that. That's confirmation too. Like there's a lot of things that you guys are very discerning about, and that irritates a lot of people. Like it grinds a lot of people's gears because you know your worth. Okay, you know your worth. Okay, you know what you're worthy of. You know what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate. You may also be in situations or dynamics where you could see, I love how that landed right there so perfectly, but you could see people in certain dynamics and situations and say to them, look, it's not my business, but because you did ask me, I really feel like you should do this. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what you should do to kind of feel like you can work the situation out. And if you feel like you can't work it out, then you guys should go your separate ways, or you should separate yourself from that situation. That is what I'm talking about, where people could be really mad because you know your worth. Like you know when to walk away, or you know when your energy is not wanted, or even when it comes to like even family and competition as well. Not everybody goes through this, but this could happen, right? There's something about that where you may say no to certain family functions and things like that, but it's the principle. Even if you say no, people stop inviting you to certain things, or they stop including you in certain things because maybe you want to stay home or you like to be alone, right? And it's not that you care, but it's still the principle. It's like, even though I know the person is going to say no, I still want them to know that they're wanted and cared for, and that we still think about them, right? So that could be also significant too. And this is not about maybe people who did you wrong. This could be just you protecting your peace and your boundaries, and people either understanding that or still misunderstanding you why you're pulling away your energy, right? So yeah, you are sovereign. Okay, it says, I am the leader of my own life. I take full responsibility for my happiness and my disappointments. It says, no one owes me anything. Everything I do is by choice. My life is in my hands. Okay, so take what resonates with that. It's like, if you want change, it's like you're not being the one that blames other people for your happiness, but you may be aware that people try to, you know, target you and your happiness. It's like, even if you guys are taking full responsibility of your life and your disappointments, it's almost like people may feel like, you know, they owe you something, or you may come off like, you know, someone may owe you something, but you don't. Like, you're just protecting your boundaries and protecting you, and your life is in your hands, and you're choosing to make a choice to learn from your mistakes, okay, and love on yourself. And I don't see anything wrong with that. If somebody is very weird about you wanting to be alone, and just understanding that it's okay to be alone, because again, like I always say in my videos, we're born alone unless you're a twin. You know what I mean? Or like a quadruplet or something, right? These cards fell on the floor, so I'm just picking them up. But yeah, like, you guys are aware, like, even if life can disappoint you because of whatever actions you took or whatever choices you took, you're not beating up other people for your problems. You're taking your responsibility and dealing with it on your own. But like I said, other people's energies, it's like other people could blame you for whatever they have going on in their life. That is why I say to you guys, sometimes people, you need to leave people alone sometimes. As much as it's hard to leave certain people alone, sometimes you got to leave people alone, because, you know, jail is not fun, right? Jail is not fun. Some of us are not built okay, for that life, okay? So, you know, you have discernment. You know that you're not going to allow somebody to make you go berserk and crazy enough to make you go into jail, or, you know, commit a crime, okay, that you might regret, okay? Things like that could be very significant. It's like you will choose happiness over disappointment any day. Okay, and that's not your problem or your business to deal with anybody else who cannot deal with their own problems and things of that matter. You know what I'm saying, guys? So take what resonates with that. Okay, take what resonates. Let me see if I can get another card before I end the reading. Ooh, I like how that just, all my cards love to like slide to the left. And they actually do that. Okay, so yeah, curiosity is also significant. The way that you approach life with an open mind. You enjoy learning new things. You love to stretch the limits of your comfort zone. You are adaptable, and it is okay for things to change when it comes to your energy, and also when it comes to people, places, and things, right? It is okay for things to change. Some of you may not like change. Some of you may be uncomfortable with change, but getting used to change is something that could be significant for some of you guys. For some of you, it may not be mental, it may not be, your emotions, it may be just being used to change and being used to things not staying the same. Nostalgia could be also significant as well, right? But at the bottom of the deck, we have receptive. Okay, it says, I am receptive. I receive from life with ease and gratitude. I enjoy accepting gifts and compliments. I deserve the good things that come to me. Okay, so you are deserving. All right, but I'm going to end it here. All right, guys. Take what resonates with you. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video or message. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Follow me on YouTube and TikTok. And my website is www.mysteriouslyunique.ca. All right, guys. Follow me on my blog, or you guys can, book a reading if you guys are interested in doing a one-on-one, okay, and things like that. Okay, guys, or if you have any questions about consultations and all that good stuff. All right, guys, but thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys. Bye.